Alma, it's so good to meet with you. I miss seeing your face.
Oh, me too. Me too. I hope all of us can be together again in Oakland.
I know, me too. And I'm really grateful for you today because you gave me a reason to brush my hair and put something on that doesn't resemble PJs. So
Oh,
thank
we
you for
look
that.
very nice. You look very nice.
Thank you. Well, I just wanted to check in with you. I know you're one of our amazing teachers in our congregation, so I wanted to meet with you and hear what your experience is like teaching amidst this COVID-19 pandemic. So before we get into the questions, I was hoping that you could share a little bit about your background with me and like what grades you teach and just some of your passions in teaching.
I'm from Houston, and I've been teaching. I known that I was gonna be a teacher since I was in fifth grade. And I first I majored in Spanish and special ed, and then later on I got my master's in bilingual ed. And then I did dyslexia intervention and gifted and talented intervention. So that's what I do. I've been with Dallas ISD for about 8 years. I taught in Garland. I also taught Spanish in community college, and I taught in India. And I have done a lot of mission work in multiple countries as well here in Dallas. I did a lot of apartment ministry. So everything has to do with teaching. So everywhere I went, I was teaching. So that's when I was born to teach. And I love it. Right now, I'm teaching fifth grade dual language. I'm self-contained, meaning I have all the subjects in English and Spanish, but next year I'm going to be doing fifth grade and sixth grade social studies and reading language art in English and Spanish as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that background. And I know in the past that we had talked, you had mentioned that you've actually had kind of a unique situation with your students and you've had them for a huge part of their education.
Yeah, since they were in second grade, now they're going to sixth grade. And I'm gonna have most of the students back with me, and they are so happy, and I'm so happy. We are a little family, and the entire school, Walnut Hill, is pretty much like that. We're a small school, but we're a very strong school. So I'm
Amazing.
very happy.
Yeah. I know around Dallas, and I'm sure even around Texas, they're known for their amazing teachers and high standards and accolades. You'd mentioned too that there's like a couple blue ribbons that you all have.
Yeah, we just won our second blue ribbon, and this generation of students who are going to sixth grade, they were one of the ones who kind of, their academic background and the scores have kind of given us the ribbon. And also, there's a lot that goes into it, but we won our second one, and we're very proud of it. We're shooting for a third one, and God willing, we will get it one of these days.
I'm sure you will. They're so lucky to have you because I know in Oakland, you've made such a positive impact on everybody at the congregation, and your love of teaching definitely shines through. But the fact that these students had you for such a huge chapter of their life, I know they're so lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you. Same here.
But you all have had quite the year this year at your school. I mean, earlier, I think last fall, you all experienced that tornado that completely uprooted your school, and you all had to adapt super quickly to that. And now you're having to adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic like everybody else, but trying to figure out a way to teach them virtually. So do you feel like maybe the first super hard experience that you all experienced this year helped better prepare the school and your students for what the reality is now, or how do you think that's all happened?
Yes, it's interesting that at the beginning of the school year, we had a feeling something was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen. And then October 21st, we're faced with that tornado. But there was a Sunday. By Wednesday, I had the whole class wearing their uniform and ready to start school. It was just amazing. And it's amazing for me. We just continue. And we did talk a lot about, I'm very open about my faith with my students. And I always was telling them, during that time that God has a reason for us going through this hardship. He's preparing us for something else. And we talked about the word resilient. We talked about several people, famous people who had been very resilient. Anne Frank, the personality of Anne Frank. So how resilient she was and everything. And now we're here with the coronavirus. And they had been very resilient. And they had been a lot of challenges. But the ISD is a wonderful school district. We're the #1 school district in the state, and They have been amazing by providing all the technology for every child, even if they cannot afford internet. They have those hotspots, and so everybody's running smoothly. I mean, there are a lot of little, problems here and there, but we're doing it, and I'm very proud of my kids because they're growing. And I don't know what we're getting ready for more in the future. Hopefully this will be the end of the challenges, but life brings a lot of challenges, and I think these students are going to be very, very well equipped.
I agree. That's amazing. And how great that they have the support they need to make sure they can continue their education. That's a
Yes.
huge blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they have all the tools they need to receive the education during the pandemic. How has it been from the teacher side with you and your peers on kind of preparing the lessons and getting the messages to them? How has that been?
Yeah, well, the Friday, before Monday, when everything started closing down, we were going to go into spring break, and I had the feeling that we were not gonna come back. So that on that day, I told the kids, you're taking all of your books with you. I told them which pages to do. I mean, I got them ready. And, but we're still, we were not sure what was going to happen. But then, so at the beginning, that's how I was giving them assignments using texting. But then the district decided to provide lesson plans for all of the students, for all grade levels. So every week we get the lesson plans. And so we went into Google Classroom, and that's how I started communicating with my kids, and enrichment activities, all kinds. And that covers PE and art, and I mean, all of the special classes. And the kids, we all have learned so fast. But let me tell you, my students are better in technology than me. But I have learned so much. I'm like, oh my goodness, I learned a lot, and they have learned a lot. All of the students, like I said, if they didn't have a computer, they were provided with a computer. So all that is being taken care of. I think some of the challenges have been, some kids don't have the help at home, or some moms are working and they have a whole bunch of kids. And so turning the assignments on time, but we have been we have to show grace and say, you know what, you're not finished today by 4 o'clock, that's okay, there's always tomorrow. So there has been, and the district has simplified a lot for us. So the goal is for them to continue learning, but not to bring any more stress to the families or the teachers, because we're going through this huge situation. So we're getting a lot of training for the teachers about mental health, about cyber security, because now we're working from home. And so we're having a lot of training on how to work from home and how to stay safe and keep the kids information private. So we have learned a lot. It's been a learning experience.
That's awesome. It seems like you really adapted well, both teacher end and the student's end.
Yes.
Is there anything that took you by surprise in this whole teaching virtually situation? Like maybe students who weren't usually very talkative in class started finding their voice, or maybe the other way around, anything?
Yes. One thing that I tell them, because they always, they love to talk, and who doesn't, and they're my big talkers. So when we have the Zoom meetings, sometimes they're very quiet. And I'm like, okay. So, I keep kind of fishing for information and they're not talking. So what I do now, I send them a topic to research. And so we can talk about that. Like when we have the Blue Angels flying. So I told them, we talk about it, and I was able to, go to the front, and I took a video and I sent it to everybody. But then they had to do research about who the Blue Angels were, the history, and all that. So by the time we have the meeting, we had a lot of information to talk about. We have also some topics that we have had is like the Big Depression. And so they have learned a lot of that. Yesterday we had a meeting, the history about Mother's Day. So I just look for different topics about, so they can talk. And I tell them, I have my little cup with names, and I pick names. I say, okay, Alexis, Samantha. So they know that I'm gonna be asking them questions, but I do prepare them ahead of time. And the parents really like it because they say, we're learning a lot. Also, I do a lot of collaboration among the students. They do projects, and I tell them they work together, and then they have to give an oral presentation, and they're giving the oral presentations to the parents now. And I tell them, I say, I'm going to ask your parents, and I say that you're having eye contact and everything that I'm looking for. They, they have the rubric, and they know this. So, I'm going to ask your parents if you were doing that. So it has been fun, and they have adopted, but I have been so amazing just to see how, I hadn't seen second grade. I'm very particular about the rules, especially grammatical rules in English and Spanish. So when I give an assignment in a different language, they're applying that. They're working like if they were in the classroom when they send me the assignments, which I'm very, very pleased. Very pleased.
Of course. Wow, that sounds like you're getting a lot of engagement, not just from your students, but also the families, which is probably something new for them that they haven't been able to do before, if they're able to.
Yes, sure.
So I wanted to ask, is there anything that is kind of worrying you about this time, about like their continued education or like their mental health? Have you seen anything that concerns you during this?
It depends on different weeks. They do tell me some of them have a backyard, some of them live in an apartment. That's tough for them because they don't have a place to go play. But kids are very resilient, and they find ways to play. They keep being very creative. I do see their faces, and I ask them, because they know me. I say, is something bothering you? And they tell me we're bored. They never say we're sad. We're bored. We want to be back in the classroom. We miss. They miss the fellowship that we have. They miss having breakfast. We have breakfast in the classroom. So every morning, from 7:45 to 8, they have the time when they talk about what happened the night before. They really miss that. And at the beginning of when we moved to this school, they were like, oh my gosh, what an ugly school. Because, we moved to a school that had been abandoned. I mean, they connected water, electric, everything like in less than 24 hours. But now they're doing all kinds of remodeling. It looks very, very nice. We're just going to be there for a few years, but it looks beautiful. And we're going to have a garden. That was part of my gift, a Mother's Day garden that I'm going to be planting plants native to Texas. They're looking forward to that. And I try to go because I go to my classroom, take pictures, and a lot of times it's my background when I'm teaching. And they are super, super excited. And I think now they're looking forward to it. And I tell them, there's nothing we can do about this, but we can look forward to what comes in the future. So yeah, so it's tough, but they're coping. They're coping.
That's awesome. And how cool that they're looking forward to school. I know this time of year with the end so close, usually people are counting down the days to get out of school. And now it seems like it's opposite.
We want to go back. I've been going little by little. We're supposed to close the classroom by the 27th. But since I'm in a portable, you can only allow 3 people at the school. But I'm in the portable, so I have access all the time. So I go in the mornings and I just start kind of, just organize and remove everything from the walls. And I sit down there and it's almost like I can hear their voices and I take pictures and I call them. I say, okay, Wendy, you forgot your coloring pen, so you want me to keep it? Oh, yes. So, they like that, and they like to have pictures of the school. They want to see, can you check and see if I left my jacket? And because it's a second home for them. I mean, it is definitely a second home for them. So, but we're looking forward. Hopefully we'll be there. Where teachers were supposed to start August 6th, and then the kids start 2 weeks later. So we'll see.
Wow. It's amazing how fast time is flying through all of this as well. I think they're even surprised that it's already the end of the year. All right, well, those are all the questions I have prepared, but before, I guess I just want to ask you if you have any words of advice or encouragement for anybody in the community watching this that might have kiddos of their own that are experiencing the virtual education and just kind of going through the thick of it like you all.
Yeah, well, I just keep them reading, keep them reading, because if they're good readers, they're going to be able to do any other subject. Make sure that they read 15 to 20 minutes a day. Read with the kids. Always ask them, can you tell me the story? What happened at the beginning, middle, and end? So that way you kind of check a very informally comprehension. Tell me about what you read. Give them books that they like. Don't just go by the textbook, because that's how you're going to build the interest reading. So they're going to find the, test for reading, and just help them focus one day at a time, and don't let them lose hope, because there's always hope. And we're going to be back. We don't know how we're going to be back, but we're going to be back. And teachers, I don't think I have heard a single teacher who's not eager to come back and to be in the classroom. And that's a very positive thing, because a lot of people, they say, oh, teachers are tired of the class. No, we're not. We love our kids. The ones what we say in the profession, we love the kids. They are we're like second moms and fathers, but we have a lot of guys out there. And so we're very happy to be doing our job. We work for our kids. Our kids are our product, but they're somebody's children. And we know that they go home and the parents ask, what is it that you learn? And we want them to have that. So that's how and just keep praying for them, that they can be healthy physically and mentally.
Well, we'll definitely keep you all in our prayers, teachers and students alike, and parents. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you meeting with me and sharing your experience.
Thank you. You too. Have a good time. Quarantine, and hope to be at the church building one of these days.
Yes, we will be back in the church soon. Sorry you hear my dogs.
That's okay. I have two over there. They're dying to talk to me too. Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.